My name is Shrad.
And my name's Rita, and this is
Almost There?
Question Mark?
All right, thank you so much for being here. Today is another Shoot the Shit. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google. And if you can write us nice reviews, and then tell us that you like us down below. And turn the notification bell on for everything. And follow us on Instagram at
ALMST there.
Keep watching. I don't like noises. How do you feel about noises?
Well, if I was alone. But also it's Halloween, so like I expect it.
Spooky
season.
Spooky season. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy that the leaves are already gone. Oh my god, look at the sky. Why is it moving so fast?
He said so many things in one sentence.
Isn't it moving really fast though?
I think it's just because it's windy outside.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, bro.
Crazy, right? It's crazy you can see it so much.
Why is it so visible as shit?
Your changes, your face changes. I just can't. I don't understand how you do that. It's so scary.
Spooky season. It is quite wild, actually. I'm only taking it in because of you, but also I've seen it now. Like, when I watch myself and then I'm just, like, laughing, and then out of nowhere I'm just like, like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Nothing's wrong with you.
No, it's pretty
It's
weird.
just funny. It's just funny to
I think
notice.
it's like me being like, okay, get it together. Like,
Can
like
you...
no.
You can be an actress.
No.
Sweet Bobby.
What are your thoughts?
Oh no, Simran's...
Is that her name?
Simran,
That
no,
was a
Simran's
cousin.
Yeah, it was a cousin. We're gonna talk fucking spoilers, okay?
Yeah.
You should have watched it by now. It's about time. Kirat, God, I do feel my heart goes out to her because I think a lot of it was like just loneliness and like she just needed a buddy. But holy, 9 years, 10 years, like that's a lot of time.
Yeah. I also think the way it started, right? It was, okay, they're talking about her past relationship. And in the past relationship, she was with the guy for, was it 18 years?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it was like a long time.
Long time, right?
Yeah.
And like she didn't get any validation, well, in terms of like marriage and stuff like that from him, at least. And they didn't really like talk too much about that relationship, but I think like she had this thing that happened in her life where like the guy didn't commit to her, you know.
And she was like in her 30s at that point. Like
she already was
yeah.
like 32 or something.
Yeah, so it's like already in our community that's like something that you get. Even if like all he did was just leave her, that is traumatizing because now she has to like restart her life, like, and she's probably been like her parents, there's no way her parents were like at 25 they weren't pushing, right, like for them to get married. So she probably has that trauma of like trying to support him and being like for 7 years being like, yeah, we're gonna get married and like just doing everything she can. And then when she turns 32, like all of this happened. So I get that. But what I was saying before that I don't understand is like the emotional turmoil even before they got together about like how many people she was supporting. This person passed, that person passed, like, and she was their like emotional backbone. Like, to me, that's so draining. How do you, I don't know, maybe it was like her feeling. She's like, I'm just a nice person, that's just who I am. But after a certain point, like if the whole family is like 20 people are reaching out to you because something's going on, like that's a little wild. Or you'd want to get out of that toxic situation, you know, like. And also that freaking bar scene. I still to this day, like, there's nothing that could just, like, I don't get it.
I just love how in the show, it's just like, yeah, that's what happened. Done.
Move on.
That was a pretty big thing. You know, that should have showed you a lot.
If you guys haven't watched it, so this girl, so like I said, it's all spoilers. this girl is this woman. She's a radio host, and she gets catfished for like 9 or 10 years by this person saying that they're this man named Bobby. Okay, and at the beginning of the show, they explain that at the big, like within 3 or 4 months of them talking, so they weren't romantically talking, they were just friends. She sees Bobby at a bar, at a club, and she goes up to him, like leaves her friend. So I listened to the podcast too, okay? So there's a lot more detail in the podcast, and they like jump
There's a
into
podcast.
Yes, there was a podcast first before there was this show. And she goes out of her way to walk up to this man with his cousins around him, and she's like, Bobby, and he's like just confused, like he's looking and he's just confused, he just doesn't know what's happening, and she's like, Bobby, it's me, it's like Kirat, that's me, and he just like she can tell he doesn't recognize her, whatever, but she's like, he's just drunk, and so she just turns around and she walks away. She doesn't bring it up to Simran. Told you who it was. Oh yes, I did it. But and we're gonna tell you guys anyway. But she doesn't bring it up afterwards. Like, she doesn't get mad at him. She doesn't like. She's like, he's drunk. It happens, and they move on. Hello,
and didn't even bring it up to him.
No, that's what I'm saying. She doesn't bring it up to like message him and get mad at him for like ignoring her, or even just being like, that's so weird that you were so drunk that you didn't nothing. And I feel like if she had, the catfish might have got a little scared because they're just in each other's like areas, that they would have been like, okay, let me leave it alone. Okay, spoiler, the catfish was her freaking cousin, Simran. And Simran is living her best life. Yeah. She's like a big CEO of this, like, not CEO, she's like a big, like, top notch. She has a big position at this company.
Oh, right now.
I think she left prior to the show coming out or something. But she was so successful. She was like posting her life, living her best life. She's like traveling. She has a fiance, like everything. And she did this. How do you have the time? I don't get it. She was posing as like 20 other people and messaging Kirat and like doing all these things and like keeping up 10 different conversations at once. Like, and it's that's like me doing that to you. Can you imagine?
No. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I honestly don't know how she had the time. Like, apparently, I know after the fact, like, she said, oh, I was just in school, like,
I was just a young girl.
Everyone does, like, dumb shit. Girl, you did this for, like, 8 or 9 years. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. I really don't know how she kept up with all that. I don't know either. Because, so basically, it was multiple cousins' profiles that she was, like, basically posing as. And then, like, yo, this one is so dumb, too. Like, first of all, what I don't understand is you have an online relationship with these people. They're not too far away from you. Like, why did it never come up to be like, hey, you want to go to the club?
But she was, so the reason that she didn't go see Bobby, Kirat didn't go see Bobby, was because he's in witness protection, okay? And so his cousins were, I think, in New York, though. Like, I think the people she was closest with were in a different country. But also, keep in mind, there was no way that she would ever guess Simran, because she would, like, so I don't know if this was in the show, but this was in the podcast. She would go with, like, go to coffee with her, and she would, like, tap on her Apple Watch, and she would get a text message from Bobby being like, are you out? Like, why are you out? And, like, emotionally and, like just like manipulating her and making her feel like trash and all that stuff. But I do feel bad for her. You know why? Because her dad still goes like, so in the podcast,
who's in this podcast?
She's in it too. So it's her and a CBC like reporter. Okay. And he's trying to get in touch with Simran. They talk about the court case. They talk about all that stuff. And Simran told them, I might be butchering some of this, but Simran told them to drop the case, and Kirat said, only if you give me an apology letter will I drop the case. And she said, I will write only you an apology letter. And Simran said, no, I need an apology letter that you literally people can see. Like, that doesn't make sense if it's only me. So Simran said, you can have an apology letter, but by law, we need to sign off who sees this letter. So there were only like 60 people or like 20 people or something that were like allowed to see this letter. But the first draft of the letter, she still had that Simran, like, it wasn't binded by law. So Kirat has this letter, and she took it home to her parents, and she's trying to get her dad to read this letter. And her dad's like, no, it happened. Like, there's nothing, like, it happened. It's done. I want to move on, right? But she's like, everybody keeps acting. I was like dumb and I was just naive, and but like, you don't understand, it was legitimately emotionally so traumatizing, and I felt like I was talking to somebody and I was in love with somebody. And the dad goes, I don't know what you want me to do, like, it's done, like, it's over. Like, he's trying to just put it in the past. And her cousins too, like her cousins, like the legitimate, like good cousins, go like, it's okay, like we believe Simran or we believe Kirat, and we know that, like, you know, she believed this thing and it just happened. And she's like, no, but you even saying that, not enough, because you saying that makes me feel like I'm dumb and I fell for it, right? Which to an extent you did, right? But it's just, I feel bad for her because she's still fighting for her life.
But what does she want at this point is what I don't understand. Because, like, okay, you want, you know what my friend said the other day? She's like, bro, I'd be too embarrassed for the world to see this.
That's what my fiance's sister said. Like, the fact that you're putting this out is wild. Like, you're literally, it's insane.
Like, no, but okay, so what does she want at this point?
She wants people to understand that she wasn't gullible.
But she was.
But she's saying that maybe I was at the beginning, but after that, it was like real emotional manipulation. I don't know how to say it other than assault. Like, it's not assault, but you know what I mean? Like, it was her manipulating me. It wasn't me just being gullible and falling for this stuff. Maybe at some point it was. I don't know if she even says that. But she's saying, like, that wasn't it. Like, it's not that I just fell for it and it happened. Like, you need to understand, she like kept drawing me in. I tried to walk away, and then she'd say or Bobby would say that he wanted to kill himself. I'd try to do this and he'd say something. I'd go out and spend time with my friends and he'd scream at me, like things like that, you know. But I also don't understand, like, what the cousin got out of it. Like, she didn't get money out of it.
Nothing was ever explained as to, like, why she did it. There has to be something, right? Like, first of all, she wasn't a kid when she did it. Like, she was in like university or something like that, right? You're not a kid. You might be young, but what was the reason? Like, they never said anything on the podcast either.
No. So they kept going behind her, kept asking her, try. She was lawyered up. She didn't answer calls. She hung up, like all that kind of stuff. She didn't just do it to her. She did it to other people too, because the boyfriend who Simran was originally with, he was alive. Like, there was no, like, whatever. And she told the boyfriend, Simran, when they were together, I got in a really bad car accident. I'm like, she would do this stuff from like the beginning, like even before Kirat. Like, that was just, I think she's just a liar. Like, she's just, I don't know. But guys, like, she would send presents to Kirat, like jewelry, flowers. Like, was she in love with her? Like, I don't get it. Like, maybe she was.
And it's kind of, yeah, if you are, then obviously it's embarrassing in many ways to, like, accept that.
And that was the thing at the every, like what you were saying earlier, at the end of every episode, it was like, the only statement that they had to keep repeating was that she was a child, she was in school, and this is a family matter that they thought they had dealt with already. And yeah. Oh, another thing her dad did, Kirat's dad, in the podcast, he was like, you know, everybody, it sucks for everybody in the situation, right? Like, it sucks for my daughter. It sucks for Simran. I feel bad. And then Kirat like snaps. She's like, what do you mean? Like, why do you feel bad for her? Like, she did this to me. Like, why do you feel bad for her? And he's like, well, there's obviously something, like, you know. And she's like, no, but she did this. Like, you can tell she's just really like tired of it. And I think, yeah, it's so
well, also though, it's been years. You have a court case already, right? Like, I don't know, like, at this point, what she wants. Like, what does she want? Like, validation that what she's saying you know, is valid, and like how she feels is valid, because all of those things are valid. Like, yeah, you were emotionally manipulated and all of that stuff. You were naive as well, because to keep up with this for years like that, like that's, there is naivety to it. But the main thing is, if she's responding to her dad like that, right? Where he's hurt by the whole thing as well, and he's feeling bad for the cousin who he probably has known since she was a little girl as well. And now for her, like, it's like, you're not going to heal if you keep doing this.
But I think she just wants, like, because I don't think she cares about everybody else, because I don't think she would have put this out there if she did. I think she's just really, she wants her family to, like, stop saying that it was her. Because I feel like a lot of people in the community will be like, she was just dumb. Especially if Simran is more successful. I can see it being like, Simran got over it, why didn't you? Kind of thing. And it was like, oh, all she did was she just, like, you know, whatever. Like, I don't know. I feel like she feels as if Simran didn't get, like, repercussions for what happened. And I think it's kind of like she took everything from me, and she literally is successful. She has a family.
But did she take everything from her?
Well, she feels like she did, because she said
she feels like she did, but there were a lot of parts in which you have a lot to play into it.
100%.
You allow things to happen in your life based on where you are at as well. So for people to, like, or for her to, like, keep blaming it now, like, what is she making a bunch of money off of this? Like,
I hope she
is. So hopefully this is it, and hopefully this gives her what she needs. You know, because your family and shit like that needs to stay within your family. That's facts. It should. Why are they being made to feel like they're the ones that, you know, should feel bad? That like, that's between your family, bro. Like, deal with that on your own. Yeah. It just seems like it's very you did this to me, so now I'm gonna try to fuck your life up.
Which is what she's trying to do. She wants her to, like, get repercussions for it, because there's nothing that you can take somebody to jail for catfishing, right? So it's like a thing of, she's trying to prove that she took stuff away from her, and she gave her a lot of emotional trauma and damage, and that they can take you to jail for or hold you liable for. And that's what she's trying to, like, put into place. I'm sure she's also trying to do some, like, law stuff where, like, to make something out of it, which I think is fair, because there are people who are really taking advantage of people, and, like, financially, and I do think for her, she's like, a big thing is her family. Like, she wanted to have a family, and she thought she would have it with the first guy. She didn't get that. She thought she would have it with Bobby, and he was sick, so she felt like she would betray him if she went somewhere else. And so she feels like she lost out on her having a family because of Simran. And as a cousin, the fact that she did that is wild. And she used to have those conversations.
Were, like, and stuff.
Yeah. It's an evil
like,
person.
Sexual fucking conversations.
Yeah.
And
they 100% did.
So gross.
But honestly, she didn't talk, though. That's the other thing. Like, how much do you believe? So she didn't talk in these things. She would, like, Simran
Remember when her mom was like, when he was whispering, like, it sounded like a very high-pitched whisper.
And the mom said something to Kirat that she's like, don't do that. Like, she, like, got so upset because she said something about it. And he would, like, use, like, tapping to talk and communicate with her.
Yeah, bro, why are you doing, like, Morse code out here? Like, what is happening?
I don't know, man. I feel bad for her. Simran needs to get help. I don't feel bad for Simran. She's living her best life, you know.
Not anymore, maybe.
No, she 100%, like, yeah. But not everybody knows, like, what she looks like. Because I don't think the picture online, like, on Netflix was her picture. Not,
no.
But the name is right. Simran Bogle or something.
Oh.
Yeah. But, like, there's so many of those.
Yeah.
So, yeah, who knows? I feel terrible for her. For Kirat. Because I feel like she's really she's chasing something that is so hard to...
Like, what is she doing for work?
She's a radio presenter.
Still, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of what I know. And now she's doing Netflix.
I feel like this has just become something she can make bank on as well.
Which is good. Like, do something. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like now she's like, if I can't get it in the courts,
But is it going to be done now, or is she just going to make another documentary?
who cares?
Or she's going to come up with another podcast?
Who cares? If people are watching, she's making money, make your money.
It's
Like,
true.
your life was ruined for 9 years. And if you really want to follow it and people are watching, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Like, unless she starts doing something like hurting other people or like goes behind Simran's house and does shit to Simran's house and her family and her life. Like, if she's doing everything legally and she's doing everything whatever, it is what it is. But I do feel like if Simran's getting help and Simran talks about getting help, maybe she should chill out a bit. But we never know. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But if Simran's not getting
And
help...
I think she also needs to get help.
Oh, yeah. 100%. She has to
Like,
work on
did she
herself.
talk about that at all?
I
Because yes,
don't know.
there was stuff done to her. Obviously, that's impacted her. So, like, what is she doing with all of this information that she has? Like, she's just trying to get people's sympathy, or is she actually going to work on herself and like figure out why the hell she even accepted all this? Did she ever talk about that?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's gone to therapy, but I could have made that up in my head.
I would hope that she did. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting. Like, it's so wild to see how, like, people always surprise me, and I feel as if like I've lived not a lot of life. I'm not saying I'm like this like 70-year-old person, but I've heard a lot of stories. Like, I watch a lot of true crime. I read a lot of stuff, like whatever. I feel like I've always heard the worst of it, and there's always something else. Like, and somebody's always one-upping, and it's so crazy. That's just the world we're living in. There's always more. But
In general, I guess catfishes usually ruin life.
yeah, facts. They do that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's small capacities where you just put a picture of yourself or someone else, and then you're not that person anymore. And then you ruin someone's life for a little bit, not too long, right?
Like Hinge stuff.
Yeah.
You raise
And
their hopes up.
then there's times like with Kirat where catfish can really go on for a long time and can ruin your life for a long time. I do feel really sad for her though. Like, she did like lose a lot of weight. Who she was like completely.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna just stop at. I felt sad for her because she lost a lot of weight, and I was like, okay, there's more to it.
Yeah. She wasn't herself anymore, and I think she
Yeah.
lost who she was in the process, and she probably still is trying to figure that out. So it's pretty recent still.
Watch it. It's on Netflix and it's on Spotify.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, apparently Google Podcasts, and on Instagram at
ALMST there.
Thank you so much for being here.